Welcome to the ABW Project. My name is January Donovan, founder of The Art of Being Woman. Thank you so much for being here. If you have not signed up for a 4-part video series, please do so. It will give you a better understanding on our common story as women in this time in history. And it also lays out the foundation in which we are going to be talking about in this project. Today's video blog will be about our common health story. What do I mean by story? History is a story. And as women today, we have a story based on our setting, the plot, which means the sequence that we have been prepared into the stages of being a woman. And we have a common conflict and we have a theme, okay? I'm going to just beginning to unpack our health story right now so we can really create some clarity in the vagueness of health, because there's a lot of vague things going on right now, and being healthy is becoming really a propaganda. Okay, so let's begin to unpack it. What's our setting? Okay, every story has a setting. Our setting right now is that we live in a very fast culture. Okay, there's a million things going on, which means by the time you wake up, you probably have 50 emails waiting for you, and you have to eat quick because you've got to get to work, a lot of traffic and a lot going on. Why? Because we have more activities. Internet has really changed the way we've communicated and also the way we think about food. Also, we have a lot of distractions. Okay, so the TV is going on, the social media, the music. There's just a lot of things coming at us where we don't necessarily think of food as a priority. Okay, that's why we have this fast food. Let me walk you through and bypass this conflict because I want to spend a lot of time right here. What's our common conflict right now? Okay, so we live in a culture where we're the most unhealthy. Okay, we're the most obese and over-medicated culture. This is our story right now in a world where we have diet. I mean, we have every dieting propaganda in our culture. So we talk a whole lot about health in America. We really do. It's sort of, there's a whole revolution in health, which I think is good. And I think we're awakening to the importance of health. But there's also this dieting propaganda where we feel as though it should be in our New Year's resolution, and that life is supposed to be one big diet after another, and that there's always a new detox or always new fad of diet, and it's a way of life, which I'm going to question, if we should be living our lives as women dieting, right? What else do we have are our conflicts right now? Skinny equals healthy. If you ask a teenager what's healthy, the images that are actually getting communicated in our head, skinny equals healthy. Not necessarily what we eat, where it comes from. That's just the image. I don't necessarily think we're conscientious of it. It's just that the visuals of the internet and technology just bypass our conscious mind, and it just creates a norm of what we consider healthy skinny. That's why people have all these diet pills and we're killing ourselves thin because we think that's healthy. Okay, what else is happening right now? There's a lot of poison in our food, and I think there's a lot of food revolution that's really going on right now because we're awakening to a reality that for the past 50 or 100 years, a lot of people are pumping poison in our food. The big industries are literally, we're eating poison. I had a lot of back issues in my early 20s, and I couldn't figure it out. I would wake up and my whole back would be stiff. I couldn't get up, and I was 22, 23, and I went to all the doctors, and they just gave me painkillers, but I didn't really know why. And I think 2-3 years finally of just suffering this pain, learning to study my body, I realized that the MSG caused a lot of inflammation in my system. Okay, there was a lot of junk that I was eating. I didn't know. I just thought I must have bad back and medication after medication, it wasn't getting better. Okay. I didn't know how to study my food and where my food came from. So these are our conflict, which is, I'm just laying out a few of them to give you an understanding of, in this setting, and our conflicts as women right now, what's getting pumped, okay? These are the contradictions in our world right now. In a very health conscious world, we're the most unhealthy, okay? That our perspective in health is really about diet and about being skinny. Okay, let me talk to you about plot. The plot is the preparation in the stages of being a woman. I call it the sequence of our preparation. I'm going to just lay out here and walk you through this process because it's sort of a new concept. Let me talk a little bit about food. Okay, so I want you to look at the different stages of your life when you were 0 to 16, you're adult or young adult, or if you're a mother. Okay, and if you're not a mother, I want you to think further of what you will be like when you're a mother. And I'm going to be talking a lot about the whole woman here and the different stages of being a woman, and not just learn to study being a mother when we're a mother. It's going to be a little bit too late, and I'm going to unpack that why in a different blog. I really want us to see the whole process and journey of being a woman in this context right here. Okay, so let's talk about 0 to 6. So at a very young age, when our world is really fast, we don't spend a lot of time in our kitchen. Food is quick, right? So at the age prior to 6, a lot of times we don't know how food is made or the process in which food is prepared. So where does food come from and how it's made and how it affects our body? Okay, so the process of food has to happen right here. Right here where we're in the kitchen, we're touching, we know what utensils to use, we know how food can affect us. We can talk to that little 3-4-year-old little girl and say, you've got a runny nose, what did you eat yesterday? How did that affect you? My children, I'm teaching them right now, and my son comes up to me and says, Mom, I can tell my eyes are puffy. What did I have yesterday? So we study food and how it affects our body, and they see the process of how it's made, okay? But it's difficult when you've got fast, more, and distracting. It gets really, really tricky because the investment has to be made at a young age, because by the teenage years, you want them to develop competence and confidence in their relationship with food. Why? Because this is what's getting pumped. Diet, skinny, and poison. And if we don't understand the importance of competence in our food and in the process of making food, we're going to walk into a propaganda of skinny, okay? So a teenager, we need to be preparing our teenagers right here so that they walk into it, they're competent in the kitchen. Nobody's going to lie to them and say, eat this, it's good for you, but don't read the labels and don't read or don't study how that affects your body the next hour and the next day, okay? And then we walk into our adult life and we're supposed to manage ourselves. We go to the grocery store, we have to decide what to eat. Nobody's saying you need to eat this, and nobody's teaching us necessarily what to eat. We can eat whatever we want. And if we decide that we want to eat out every day, sure. And then we walk into our motherhood and we're supposed to teach about food, which requires us to have a very healthy and clear understanding in our relationship with food, because we cannot really give what we don't have or proper command of. If I don't have a healthy relationship with food, okay, I'm not going to be able to teach my children the process of food, where it comes from, and how it's made, and how that affects our body, nor would I be able to give them competence in the kitchen, right? So let me just paint this picture for you. Let's just say that 0 to 6, food is made for you, you get up and it's just there, or you just eat and it's just ready. You don't see the whole process. And then you walk into your teenage life because there's a lot going on. You know, you can heat something up and it's quick and it's microwavable, so you're fine, you can get by. And then all of a sudden, you're an adult life, you can eat out. You don't really think about how food affects our brain, our body. And then all of a sudden you walk into it and you're responsible for little people and food. What's going to happen here? Health and food becomes an overwhelming reality. All of a sudden, you're supposed to have ownership on your kitchen without the sequence in which you're supposed to be prepared to understand food. Okay? There's a health crisis in our culture right now, and we have been lied to. Why? We don't know what's in our food. We don't know the process of making food. And we're walking right into a trap because we think these companies are going to be, are going for our best interest. Well, not necessarily. We actually have to develop such a level of competence in understanding what food is so that we don't walk into the lies and fall right into the traps of dieting for the rest of our life. We can what? Own our kitchen. Okay? I'm going to tell you this. If I write an article on ownership of our kitchen, there's a good chance that I'm going to get people who are going to talk about the if I'm putting women back 100 years back, okay? We're not connecting the dots of ownership of our kitchen and ownership of our health. I'm going to say that again. Ownership of our kitchen has everything to do with ownership of our health. When we don't know where our food comes from and how it's made, and then we have a health crisis, we're not connecting the dots, okay? What's my take-home point here, and what do I want you to think about? I want you to process the different stages in which you have been prepared to have a relationship with food. And then I want you to write down your 3 themes right now as a woman. If you're a mother, I want you to think about your relationship with food. Or if you're single, I want you to think about overall health. You know, I just want you to start thinking about how you have been prepared into the stages of being a woman so that you could have a healthy understanding of food and not walk into the propagandas and the lies that we're told to today. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I will further unpack this as we go along, and especially right here as we prepare our very little people and also our teenagers into understanding our relationship with food. Thank you for watching. My name is January Donovan. Thank you for walking and talking with me. It is a privilege to walk this journey with you.